My wife said, "You're not a partner. You're the one who handles the expensive stuff." I said, "Good to know." Then I pulled my support completely. Separate budgets, separate obligations, separate future. When her mom needed surgery money and she assumed I'd cover it. I, 34, male, had been married to Jessica, 32, for 7 years. We built what I thought was a partnership. I handled the mortgage, car payments, her student loans, and most of the bills. She managed groceries and her personal expenses. It seemed fair. It seemed like teamwork. 3 weeks ago, during an argument about vacation planning, she said something that changed everything. "You're not a partner. You're the one who handles the expensive stuff." The words landed like ice water. I stood in our kitchen, coffee mug halfway to my lips, and just stared at her. She didn't even look uncomfortable saying it. Her face was calm, matter of fact, like she was reading a grocery list. "What does that mean?" I asked. She shrugged. "It means exactly what it sounds like. You pay for things. That's your role." I set the mug down slowly. My hand didn't shake. My voice didn't rise. I just said, "Good to know." She blinked, surprised by my calmness. Then she went back to scrolling her phone. That was it. Conversation over. At least she thought it was. I walked to my home office and opened my laptop. The banking app loaded in seconds. Our joint account showed $18,200. My paycheck deposits, my retirement contributions, my insurance premiums, her name on the account, my money funding it. I opened a new tab and started a spreadsheet. Column 1, expense type. Column 2, monthly cost. Column 3, who benefits. Column 4, my share. Column 5, her share. It took 40 minutes to build. Every subscription, every utility, every loan payment, every insurance policy. I listed it all. When I finished, the numbers were clear. I was covering 91% of our household expenses. I saved the file as Partnership Review Final and emailed it to myself. Then I opened another tab and searched for one-bedroom apartments in our city. By that evening, I had opened a new bank account in my name only. I transferred exactly half of the joint account balance, $9,100, fair, clean, documented. I called our mortgage company and asked about splitting the autopay. They said I could set up separate payments from separate accounts. I did. My half, exactly my half. The car loans were next. One car in my name, one in hers. I adjusted the autopay on mine to come from my new account. Hers stayed on the joint account, now with only her half of the balance. Her student loans were interesting. They were in her name but had been auto-paying from our joint account for 4 years. $640 a month. I logged into the loan servicer and changed the payment source to her personal checking account, the one she used for her own spending money, the one that usually held about $300. Utilities, I called each company. Electric, gas, water, internet. I explained I wanted to split the billing. Some let me do it over the phone. Others required forms. I filled them out, I scanned them, I submitted them. Every single one went through within 3 business days. Insurance was the last piece. We had a joint car insurance policy. I called and separated it. My car, my policy, my payment. Her car, her policy, her payment. The agent sounded confused but processed it. Health insurance was through my employer. The family plan covered both of us. That was fine. It cost me $340 a month whether she was on it or not. I left it alone. By the end of week 1, every financial connection between us was severed except the mortgage, now split 50-50, and the health insurance I was already paying for. Jessica didn't notice. Not immediately. She noticed on day 9. I was making dinner when she walked into the kitchen holding her phone. Her face looked tight. "Why did my student loan payment bounce?" she asked. I didn't look up from the stove. "Because it's coming out of your account now." "What? Why?" I turned the heat down and faced her. "You said I'm not your partner. I'm the one who handles expensive stuff. So I stopped handling your expensive stuff. Your loans are your responsibility." Her eyes went wide. "You can't just do that." "I can. I did. The payment source was changed last Tuesday. But I don't have $640 in my account. Then you'll need to transfer it from somewhere else." She stared at me like I'd started speaking another language. "This is insane. We're married." "We are. But according to you, I'm not your partner. I'm your expense account. So I'm closing the account. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. You're being petty. I'm being clear, I said. You defined our relationship. I'm respecting your definition. She turned and walked out. I heard her bedroom door slam. We had started sleeping in separate rooms 3 months ago. Her idea. She said she needed space. The pasta water started boiling. I added the noodles and set the timer. The next morning, she was waiting for me in the kitchen when I came downstairs. Her laptop was open. Her face was pale. The car insurance payment failed, she said. I poured coffee. Did you update your payment information? No, why would I? Because your car insurance is now separate. Your policy, your payment. Nathan, this is crazy. I took a sip. The coffee was hot and bitter. Is it? You wanted clarity about roles. I'm giving you clarity. I didn't mean you should stop paying for everything. You said I'm not your partner. Partners share responsibilities. If I'm just the expense account, then I'm closing. You handle your expenses. I'll handle mine. She stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. My mom needs surgery next month. I told her you'd help cover it. And there it was, the real reason for the morning ambush. I set my mug down carefully. How much? $12,000. Her insurance doesn't cover the whole thing. I looked at her, really looked at her. She wasn't asking. She was informing. She'd already promised my money to her mother without asking me. No, I said. Her face went red. What do you mean, no? I mean, no. I'm not paying for your mother's surgery. She's family. She's your family, and according to you, I'm not your partner. I'm the expense account, and the account is closed. You're being cruel. I'm being consistent. She grabbed her laptop and stormed out. I heard her car start in the driveway. The engine revved too high. The tires squealed. I finished my coffee in silence. At 11:47 that morning, my phone buzzed. A text from Jessica's mother, Linda. Jessica told me you won't help with my surgery. I'm disappointed in you. I thought you were better than this. I stared at the message. Linda had never liked me. She thought her daughter married down. She made that clear at every holiday dinner, every family gathering, every phone call that lasted too long. I typed back, I'm sorry you're disappointed. Jessica and I have separated our finances. I recommend discussing payment plans with your surgeon's office. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. You've changed. You used to care about family. I didn't respond. I turned my phone face down and went back to work. At 3:22, another text, this time from Jessica. My mom is crying. Are you happy now? I typed, I'm not happy or unhappy. I'm respecting the boundary you set. You said I'm not your partner. Partners help each other's families. Expense accounts don't. You're twisting my words. I'm applying them. The 3 dots appeared and stayed for 2 full minutes. Then nothing. That evening, I came home to an empty house. Jessica's car was gone. Her work bag was gone. The kitchen was exactly as I'd left it that morning. I made dinner for one. Grilled chicken, roasted vegetables, rice. I ate at the table alone with a podcast playing in the background. At 9:15, the front door opened. Jessica walked in. Her eyes were red. We need to talk, she said. Okay. She sat across from me. Her hands were shaking. I called my mom's surgeon. They said the payment is due in 2 weeks or they'll reschedule. I nodded. I don't have $12,000. I know. Can you loan it to me? I leaned back. At what interest rate? Her face twisted. You're seriously going to charge your wife interest? You're seriously going to ask your expense account for a loan? She stood up. I can't do this. Then don't. She walked to the stairs. Stopped. Turned. I didn't mean it the way you're taking it. How did you mean it? She opened her mouth. Closed it. I don't know. I was angry. You were honest. Nathan. Jessica, you told me I'm not your partner. You've been pulling away for months. Separate bedrooms, separate plans, separate lives. You just wanted me to keep paying for everything while you figured out what you really wanted. Tears started running down her face. That's not true. Isn't it? She didn't answer. She just turned and went upstairs. The next morning, I woke to 17 missed calls, 12 from Linda, 3 from Jessica's sister, Amy, 2 from Jessica. I called Jessica first. Finally, she snapped when she answered. What's going on? My mom called me at midnight. She's freaking out. She thinks you hate her. I don't hate her. I just can't pay for her surgery. Can't or won't? Won't, because we're not partners. You made that clear. I'm going to tell everyone what you're doing. Okay. That stopped her. Okay? That's all you have to say? Yes, tell whoever you want. Tell them exactly what you told me, that I'm not your partner, that I'm the one who handles expensive stuff. Then tell them I stopped. The line went quiet. Jessica, if you want to repair this marriage, we can try, but it starts with you admitting what you said was wrong, and it starts with you treating me like an actual partner, not an ATM. I need time to think. Take all the time you need, but your mom's surgery payment is due in 2 weeks, so don't take too long. She hung up. For 3 days, silence. No calls, no texts, no sound from upstairs. On day 4, I came home to find Linda sitting in my living room. Jessica was next to her. Both looked grim. Nathan, Linda said, sit down, we need to talk. I stayed standing. This is my house, I'll stand if I want. Linda's face tightened. I'm here to discuss my surgery. There's nothing to discuss. Jessica told me what you said, that you won't help because we're not family. That's not what I said. I said I'm not her partner. She told me that, so I'm not paying for partner-level expenses anymore. That's semantics. No, that's clarity. Linda stood. She was shorter than me, but somehow took up more space. I have been nothing but kind to you for 7 years. I laughed. I couldn't help it. Kind? Linda, you've called me financially irresponsible, emotionally unavailable, and a poor influence on your daughter. You did it at Christmas dinner last year, in front of 15 people. Her face went red. That was a private conversation. It was at the dinner table. Jessica stood up. Nathan, my mom is trying to apologize. No, she's trying to guilt me into paying. There's a difference. Linda's voice went cold. I see who you really are now. Good. I see who you are too. She grabbed her purse and walked out. The door slammed. Jessica stayed. She looked at me with something like shock. I've never seen you like this. Like what? Strong. I nodded slowly. I've always been strong. You just didn't notice because I was busy carrying everything. She sat back down. Her face crumpled. I messed up. I know I did. Yes. Can we fix this? I don't know. Can we? She wiped her eyes. What would it take? I sat across from her. Couples counseling, real counseling. Not the kind where we show up twice and pretend we're fixed. The kind where we actually do the work. Okay. And you apologize to me. A real apology. Not an I'm sorry you're upset apology. A real one. Okay. And we rebuild financial trust, slowly, with transparency, with actual partnership. She nodded. But I'm still not paying for your mom's surgery. Her head snapped up. What? That's between you and your mother. Figure it out together. She can get a payment plan. She can ask other family members. But I'm not paying. Nathan, this is the boundary, Jessica. If you cross it, we're done. She stared at me for a long time. Then she whispered, okay. Jessica called her mother that night. I didn't hear the whole conversation, but I heard enough. Linda was furious. She accused Jessica of being weak, of letting me control her, of abandoning family. Jessica cried through most of it. When she hung up, she came downstairs. Her face was blotchy and red. She's not talking to me anymore. I'm sorry. Are you? I'm sorry she's hurting you. I'm not sorry for the boundary. She nodded slowly. She said I have to choose, her or you. My chest tightened. What did you say? I said I choose my marriage. Something in me loosened. Not all the way, but enough. Thank you, I said. She sat next to me on the couch. Not touching, just close. I really did mess this up. Yeah, I'm going to fix it. We'll see. Over the next week, things shifted. Small things. Jessica started cooking dinner twice a week. She asked about my day and actually listened. She found a therapist who specialized in couples work and booked our first session. Linda found a payment plan for her surgery. She didn't tell Jessica directly. Amy did. The surgery was scheduled. Linda still wasn't speaking to either of us. Jessica's student loan payment came out of her account on time. She didn't complain. She just transferred the money and moved on. The separate bedrooms stayed separate. But one night, she knocked on my door and asked if she could sleep in the same room. Not the same bed, just the same room. She'd brought an air mattress. I said yes. We talked for 2 hours that night about what went wrong, about how we'd stopped seeing each other as people and started seeing each other as roles. Her role, the fun one, the social one, the one who kept things light. My role, the provider, the fixer, the one who handled problems. I didn't mean you were just an expense account, she said quietly. I meant I felt like I didn't contribute enough, like I was failing. So I turned it into your fault instead of admitting I felt inadequate. I looked at her in the dim light. Why didn't you just say that? Because it's easier to be mean than to be vulnerable. Fair. At our first therapy session, the counselor asked us each to describe the marriage in one word. Jessica said, broken. I said, fixable. The counselor, a woman named Dr. Aaron, nodded. Fixable is good. Fixable means there's still hope, but it also means work. Are you both willing to work? We both said yes. Dr. Aaron gave us homework. We had to spend 15 minutes every evening talking about something other than logistics. No bills, no schedules. Just us. The first night, we talked about movies. The second night, books. The third night, we ran out of safe topics and just sat there. This is awkward, Jessica said. Yeah, she laughed. A real laugh. The first one I'd heard in months. We're so bad at this. We'll get better. And slowly we did. 4 weeks after the argument that started everything, Jessica came to me with a printed document. It was a budget. Her budget. Divided into categories. With actual numbers. I want to contribute more, she said. I've been looking at my spending. I can cover my car, my insurance, my loans, and 30% of the household bills. I looked at the paper. The numbers were realistic, honest. Okay, I said. Okay? Yeah, let's try it. She smiled, a real smile. Thank you. For what? For not giving up on me. I folded the paper carefully. I didn't give up. I just stopped carrying you. There's a difference. She nodded. I know, and I'm glad you did. Linda's surgery happened on schedule. It went well. She recovered without complications. She still wasn't speaking to us. Amy called Jessica one night and said Linda had been telling people I was financially abusive, that I'd refused to help a sick woman out of spite. Jessica asked how I wanted to handle it. I said, let her talk. The people who matter know the truth. What about the people who don't? They don't matter. Jessica thought about that. Then she nodded. Okay. 2 weeks later, Linda called. Not to apologize, not to reconcile. Just to say that Jessica's Aunt Karen had asked why we weren't helping with the medical bills, and Linda had to admit that she'd been offered help from other family members, but had refused because she wanted me to pay. Karen apparently had not taken that well. Jessica told me this while we were grocery shopping. She said it in the cereal aisle, holding a box of granola, with a strange look on her face. What are you thinking? I asked. I'm thinking my mom is exactly like she's always been. I just didn't want to see it. And now? Now I see it. We finished shopping in silence. At week 7, Dr. Aaron asked if we wanted to stay in separate bedrooms or move back together. Jessica looked at me. I looked at her. I'm not ready, I said. Jessica's face fell. Oh, but I'm not saying no forever. I'm saying not yet. She nodded slowly. Okay, I can work with that. Dr. Aaron asked what would need to change for me to be ready. I thought about it. I need to trust that she sees me as a partner, not a provider, not a safety net, a partner. And how will you know? When she stops expecting me to fix everything. Jessica's eyes filled. But she didn't argue. She just said, that's fair. By month 3, things were stable. Not perfect, not healed, but stable. Jessica picked up a second freelance contract. Her income went up. She started paying 40% of the household bills without me asking. We still slept in separate rooms, but we had dinner together every night. We watched movies on weekends. We went to therapy every Tuesday. Linda sent a card in the mail. It was addressed to Jessica only. Inside it said, I'm sorry I put you in the middle. I hope you're happy. It wasn't an apology to me, but it was progress. Jessica asked if I wanted her to push for more. I said no. Let it be. She smiled. You've gotten good at boundaries. I've had practice. At month 5, Jessica asked if we could try a weekend away. Just us, no family, no distractions. I said yes. We drove to a cabin in the mountains. It was small and quiet. We hiked during the day. We cooked together at night. We talked about the future, about kids, about careers, about what we wanted our lives to look like. On the last night, she asked if I'd forgiven her. I thought about it, really thought about it. I'm working on it, I said. Is that enough? For now? She reached for my hand. I let her take it. I love you, she said. I love you too. We sat there holding hands, watching the fire burn low. By month 8, I moved back into our bedroom, not because everything was fixed, but because I was ready to try. Jessica cried when I brought my clothes back. Happy tears. This doesn't mean it's perfect, I said. I know. It means I'm willing to rebuild. I know. We stood there in the middle of the room holding each other. At month 10, Linda called me directly. Not Jessica. Me. I owe you an apology, she said. I didn't say anything. I was wrong to pressure you. I was wrong to expect you to pay. I was wrong to say the things I said. Okay. Jessica told me what she said to you, about not being a partner. That was cruel. Yes, it was. I taught her that, you know. I taught her to see men as providers, as wallets. I taught her wrong. I sat down. This conversation was not what I'd expected. Thank you for telling me, I said. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know. I appreciate that. We hung up. I sat there for a long time, staring at nothing. When Jessica came home, I told her about the call. She cried, again. She never apologizes. She did today. Does that change anything? I don't know yet. She nodded. That's fair. 1 year after the argument, we had a small anniversary dinner at home. Just us. No family, no friends. Jessica gave me a card. Inside it said, "Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for teaching me what partnership really means. I love you." I gave her a card too. Inside it said, "Thank you for doing the work. I'm proud of us." We ate dinner slowly, talking about everything and nothing. At the end of the night, she asked, "Do you think we'll make it?" I looked at her, really looked at her, at the woman she'd become over the past year. Stronger, more honest, more present. "Yeah," I said, "I think we will." She smiled, the kind of smile that reaches the eyes. And for the first time in a long time, I believed it.